Hey there, welcome to Multimedia 110 Visual Communications Design. I am Curtis Stage, professor at Los Angeles Mission College, and today's tutorial demo is going to be on Photomontage, and we're going to be doing this one in GIMP. So if you are a Photoshop user, I have the Photoshop demo uploaded to modules, and vice versa. If you're a GIMP user, this one will be uploaded to modules, so you should be able to find it there. So we're going to do a Hannah Hoke type photo montage. She made work that was done in the 1930s, 40s. She was one of the Dadaist artists, and her work centered around kind of female identity. This was in our readings. Her work centered around identity, female identity in that modern era, questioning things like what is the role of the female within that era. So you'll see a lot of her collage work questions that. It has those kind of themes. So for this demo, I'm going to do something that's like that. I've got some images that are, and we're going to kind of do one like this one on the left. When you guys will probably do this demo, and then you'll make one on your own. And the one that you make on your own, you want to try to have a theme as well. Maybe pick some different images. When you pick different images, make sure that they're sized pretty large when you save the images, and you want to find JPEGs on the internet to do that. Or you could use these images and turn this in as well. Your composition may look a little different than mine, so that's okay as well. All right, so I'm going to just kind of put this over the side as a reference or minimize this. And all the files that I'm using today are also in modules, so you can use them. You can download them on modules and use them. So the first thing I want to do is in GIMP is I want to create a new file. So File New. And you'll see that I've got some template sizes in here. So A4, A5, if you switch to inches, you can see what it looks like in inches. And this is a good size, this A4 size here. A3, if you switch to inches, it'll show you what size that is, 11 by 16. So, and here's the A5. I like A4 for this project. And when I click here to advance options, it just gives me some other areas that I can look at. RGB color, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it on 8-bit. You could either do 8-bit or 16-bit, but I'm just going to leave it 8-bit. GIMP runs a little quicker when it's on 8-bit. And I'm going to click OK to this. Okay, and it filled my background with whatever background color I had, and that doesn't matter so much because we're going to put some images in here anyway. So I want to bring images in, and I have these on my desktop. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to download these images from Canvas and have them on your desktop or in a folder, and you're going to bring them in to GIMP, right? So there's a couple ways you can do that, and I'm going to bring in the color images first. So I'm going to bring in the cream image first. So from my desktop on a Mac, I can just click and drag and let go, and then that is going to come in this way. So once I've got this in here, I'm going to want to transform this object to create its other size, and I may rotate it. So for me, it's already pretty big, so I want to rotate this. So I'll click the rotate tool right here, and when I've got that tool, then I can click and drag and rotate. So something like that. Once I do that, I can hit return, and it doesn't matter whether you hit return or not, but hitting return is kind of nice because it'll solidify that. So there we go. So that's good. Next thing I want to do is bring in the red or the blue one. I'm going to bring in the red one next. Click that. This one's a little smaller, so I want to bring this one up. I still have the rotate on, so I'm going to rotate this one as well. You'll see I'm going to rotate it and move this up. So when I rotate it, then I'm going to move it. So I'll switch to my move tool and move it up in the corner. I'm just going to use her image as a reference. I'm going to kind of build my own. Once I have this in the corner, then I can click the transform tool, and that's this one right here, and I want to click scale, right? And then when I click the transform and scale, I can grab one of these corners, and if I grab the corner and I don't want to distort it too much, so I'm on scale, and I want to take shear off. I had shear on, so I want to take shear off, grab this and kind of make it big and move it up into this corner, and then hit return. So that'll apply that. So now I've got that up in that corner. Great. Now what I want to do is bring the blue one in. So again, I can, off my desktop, I'll just pick blue JPEG and drag it right there. Notice how it's making layers over here in my layers stack. And this blue one's pretty small, so I'm on my transform again. I have shear off this time. So the constraint is on scale. And you can kind of see everything right in here that you need. So on this transform, you've got transform layer, transform selection. I could switch to selection, but it's better. I think it's better on this layer one actually here. So when I do this, I just grab a corner, and when you grab a corner, you should be pretty good. You don't even have to hold shift when you don't have shear on. And I'm going to make this pretty big, and I want this to kind of be down at the bottom of this. Maybe I don't turn this one. When you grab the corner, be careful where you grab, because if you grab inside this little yellow box here, that's going to be a problem. You want to grab that yellow box. See, this little yellow box will distort right here, which is kind of cool. Photoshop doesn't have this, and I could distort this a little bit if I want. Maybe I'll do this and bring that one up this way and bring this one this way. So something like that, and then I'll hit return on my keyboard, and that will apply that transform. Okay, good. I've got these going on. Now what I want to do is I want to bring in the face. So I want to bring in montage 1, drag that in. This is going to be on top of everything else, but I may want to switch the order of these in a second. Let me make her bigger. So again, I'm still on the transform and I'm clicking on it. So I click anywhere on the image. Don't grab the little box, grab the bigger box and pull. I'm going to make this pretty big, and then I'm going to move it kind of up into place. Hit the return. So that will apply that transform. Now I want it to go underneath the red. So I'm going to move the layer order. So she's underneath the red here. See that? So she's kind of going to be peeking out. I want to go back to my montage 1, and with my move tool, I'm going to move her kind of up under there so you don't see her eyes. But I want to cut off, I want to get rid of all this stuff. So before I do that, I'm going to kind of loosely cut around her. So I'm going to kind of go around. And one way you can do that is, just a quick way to do it is use this free transform. It's free select tool. So when I go around this, when I use this, I click on the free select tool. I can go and draw around. And with Photomontage, this can be kind of sloppy. These were cut out originally. Hannah would do this. Of course, she was in Berlin, again, 1930s. She was cutting out. She was taking photos of her own. She was also finding photos in advertising, and she was cutting them out with scissors, and she was cutting them out and not really trying to blend the images together. It was very well known that these photos, these different images, were all coming together to make a new image, but you could tell the difference between each image. So when I cut her out here, when I select her, I don't need to be very, I don't need to, really think about too much about making a perfect selection. So I'm going to just kind of loosely go around her hair, kind of cut off her hand a little bit, cut off this hand, but I want to get this hair here. And I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go all the way back around and reconnect. Okay, so once I have her selected, I want to go to my move tool, and then I actually don't want to delete her head out. I want to keep her head. I want to get rid of everything around her. So you'll notice right over here, it shows like a mask, right? This is what's called a mask, this black and white. And I've got this button right here inverts the selection. So when I click that, notice these marching ants. These black and white marching ants. They're going around not only her head, but also around the photo. So once I have that, then I can clear the rest of the photo but keep her head. So watch what I do if I go to Edit, Clear, and then it's going to clear everything but her head. Awesome. Okay, so now I can deselect. So to deselect, I would just click right over here, this little X, and then I've got the deselect. So I'm done with this face. Maybe I want to move the face up a little bit more to like obscure her eyes, and maybe I'd like to make her a little bigger. So I'm going to click on her again and grab this edge and make her bigger, and then hit return on my keyboard. Right, now she's larger, and now back to my move tool. Got to go back to your move tool, and then I can slide her. I just kind of think it's just compositionally I want to slide her up underneath this. And maybe I'll leave one eye kind of just barely there. Okay, great. So I've got that done now. Notice, remember, again, to get her underneath the red triangle here, look at my layer order. I've got montage 1 underneath red. So now what I want to do is I want to bring in the swimsuit girls right here, which is montage 2. I'm going to bring that in. Clearly that needs to get bigger, and I only want one of the girls. So I'm going to go back to my transform tool, click on the image, grab a corner, right? Don't want to distort this. I mean, you could, I guess. I could turn it a little too. But I'm going to grab this corner, make it bigger, kind of move it up here, just kind of getting it ready. So I'm going to grab that corner, I'm going to just make it big. And it's going to be something like this. Hit return or enter on your keyboard to apply that. Now, I want it to be below the montage 2 layer needs to be below montage 1 in a minute. But I want to cut out everything but this girl and her head. So I want to cut her head off and everything else and just leave her body and her arm. So I'm going to go back to the lasso tool, and I'm just going to start drawing around. It can be loose. Again, if you look at a lot of Hannah's, oops, went a little in that leg there. You look at a lot of Hannah Hoke's stuff, it was kind of loose cuts. Okay, I want to go around her hand, kind of do this. And when you meet back up at the start, you'll see that little orange circle. So that gets you back to the start. Now what I want to do is I've got this selection here. I want to inverse this. Oh, excuse me. Well, before I got to move to my move tool and then inverse the selection, right? So that I see the marching ants around the whole thing, and then I can go and clear it. So edit, clear, and then it will clear everything but that. Pretty cool. Now I want to get rid of this selection, so I'm going to click this little X, dismiss the selection, and now I want to move it into place. So I'm on my move tool. I want to move her up, and I want to put her below the montage 1, so she's kind of below it. Okay, so something like that. Pretty good. Now what I want to do is I kind of, well, maybe I want to, in this case, maybe I do want to put her above it and kind of keep her there. But I like that arm right there. So maybe actually I want to take that arm and I want to move the arm onto its own layer. So before I move her back underneath and have the rest of her underneath. So I'm going to go back to this tool here, my lasso tool, go around the arm, and I'll probably kind of do something like this. Okay. So once I have the selection of the arm, I want to cut and paste it to a new layer. So I'm going to create a new layer. So the new layer must be transparent. So you can see that down there. It's got the fill with transparency. Click OK. So there's my new layer. And I'm going to go back to the montage layer with my selection, and I want to cut it. So I want to go to Edit and Cut. So it's cut out. And then I want to go to the new layer here. I want to go to Edit and then paste into, well, I could just go paste as new layer right here. So that's pretty good. Then I didn't have to make a new layer. So there that is. It's right there. So I didn't really need a new layer. That's pretty nice. Now what I'm going to do is keep that layer there. Get rid of my selection. Don't need the selection on. Keep that pasted layer there. And then I want to move the montage 2 layer below the head. So see how it's like creating this where the arm looks like it's going above her face now, but the body, this big head is sitting on the body right there. So that's good. All right, so I kind of like that. Next thing I want to do, last thing, I need an eye element down here. So I'm going to bring the montage 3 eye, bring that in. With my move tool, I'm going to move it, and I want to size this. So I'm going to go to transform and click on the image, grab a corner. Maybe I will rotate it a little bit to mirror what's going on here, and then I'm going to make this bigger and bring it down. And I want it to go kind of off screen a little bit, so I'm going to hit return. So now it's off screen just a tad. And maybe I'll move it a little bit so it kind of lines up a little bit better with this blue. Whenever I'm doing any kind of design or artwork, layout, I'm always thinking about principles and elements of design. and art. And so we've learned a little bit about some of those, and things like spacing, alignment, balance, right? You've got asymmetrical and symmetrical balance, things like color, texture, line. Those are all things that I'm taking into consideration when I'm creating something. So because this has so much weighted so much over here, I think the eye over here is really nice. Like our eyes when we're viewing this are going to be drawn to this spot, but then we're going to go up here. And I could decide to make this head and this body bigger if I want to. That's up to me. So I could fool around with scale and size and see what I kind of come up with. Now, some of the photo montage artists would add text to their pieces. You didn't see that a lot with Hannah Hoke. She wouldn't do that too much. You'd see it here and there. Most of the time it was just images. All right, so that's been a tutorial on this. Now, before I leave, you do want to save this. So you want to do File, Save As, and save it to your folder. And you also want to do a File, Export As. And this is where you want to name this like montage, assignment 10 montage, and save it to your folder, and make sure that it's this, it's going to be a PNG file, and that's what you're going to upload to Behance and to Canvas, to the assignment. So you want to name it like assignment 10, right? And you can put your name on it if you want, whatever, and that's what you're going to export out to your desktop or wherever you're putting that. Save it to a folder maybe. So something like that, let it export out. You also want to probably save the original too. So I'm going to just click export, and this is all good. So once this happens, once the export goes through, then you'll have the image on your desktop, and that's what you're going to upload. I'm going to cancel that and cancel this because I don't need to save it, but you guys will. All right, so that's been our tutorial on creating a photo montage using images in GIMP. Remember, if you have any questions about this, contact me in Canvas, and you can also come into our multimedia labs at Los Angeles Mission College.